Welcome back to DONSLIFE. In today's video, we're going to continue adding carbon fiber parts to my Corvette C8 behind me, but what's going to make it different is that we're replacing existing parts that are already on there. So we'll get into what those details are momentarily, but we're going to have the unique ability to compare aftermarket non-carbon fiber parts with aftermarket carbon fiber parts from the same company. Let's go. Now, I don't know about you, but I know for me, one of the toughest things when online shopping for car parts is comparing one part to another and trying to understand what the fitment or the finish is going to look like. So in today's video, we're going to look at the rear spoiler options for my Corvette C8, because now I've had two different ones. So we're going to talk about that today. And we're going to replace the front lip on the Corvette C8 with a carbon fiber one and take off the carbon flash one. Now, if you've been following the build for a while, you'll know that this is a paint protection film on my Corvette C8. Since the last time you saw it, I've enhanced it a bit by putting some black vinyl on top of the PPF right here, because I kind of wanted that cockpit look. You may have also noticed that this rear spoiler is different. This one is carbon fiber. So that's what we're going to look at first. This is going to be a comparison of the performance Ducktail spoiler from Extreme Online Store compared to the regular Ducktail spoiler from Extreme Online Store. The one over there, which we'll get closer to in a moment, which I've already had installed on the vehicle, was replaced with this one. So this one here is a little different, but it mounts exactly the same, which is why I decided to throw it on when I was doing the wrap, because I wasn't quite ready to do this video. So I thought I can still talk about it while it's on, since it mounts exactly the same as that one. But when you're looking at the two online, it's difficult to tell exactly what the differences are. So I think this is a great way to illustrate this. This is paint protection film, remember, so even light scratches, just a little bit of heat and they'll self-heal and come right out. But here is the regular Ducktail spoiler from Extreme Online Store for the Corvette C8. And then behind it is the performance version. And I put some tape on there to show you what the differences are. Really, they're both the same height, which is what really surprised me. When I got the new one, I assumed it was going to be taller, but the regular one, the non-performance, tapers off. So you can see the profile on the side here is much different. This one here has this curved sweep. This one here has an aggressive sweep because it tapers down as it comes down along the side. So I think it depends on what look you want, because this one here is not available in carbon fiber, but this one is. So this extra material is what you get when you order the carbon fiber one. I'll link the video to the mounting of this one, because it's the same as that one, in the video description below, and I might even put it up here somewhere to click on. But there are two bolts at the end. There's a bolt here partway through, another one, and then two more at the end. So you have 6 bolts altogether, at least with the Z51 package, which this car has. You'll also notice I put adhesive here where all the connections are, because I didn't want any water penetration in those areas. And it was very, very secure, just like that. Now, if you don't want to use the screws or the mounts, or you want to use a combination of screws and adhesive, they actually sent all of these with this when I received it, but I didn't use them. But it would help you if you didn't want to have to drill extra holes if your car didn't come with all the preset bolt locations for this setup. I'm actually quite happy with the carbon fiber one here. So I'm going to take that masking tape off and I'm going to rock this version for as long as I can. One thing I love about all these mods from Extreme Online Store is they are at the affordable level and they look good. Are they perfect in every way? No, but look at, I have nice alignment on my door handles. These are aftermarket by Extreme Online Store. I think they look really good. The boomerang looks good, the door handle looks good. I got these side skirts on there. I think those look good. And these carbon fiber extensions I have on the wheel wells are actually quite nice for keeping the car clean. And it helps give it a little bit of a fuller look with the wheel if you don't want to lower the car. Where I live with the roads, I don't know if I should lower it, because right now I'm not hitting anything, and it's been kind of nice not having that happen. And I think it looks decently low. Could be lower for sure, but I think this is safer for the area of the country I live in. Of course, we have the carbon fiber mirror caps, paint protection film on those. And now we're going to move to the new front lip, which also has paint protection installed. That's why there's all these fingerprints on it. So we got paint protection film on here, because I think everyone could agree that an area like that just gets blasted. And if you have paint protection film, it's going to keep it much safer. So let's take this old lip off, then let's compare them, and then let's put the new one on and put it all together, see how it looks. Now taking this off and reinstalling it really couldn't be any simpler than undoing screws and connecting screws, because all the screws under here are all the factory screws in the factory locations. So it's as easy as undoing the old lip if you have one, which I did. I originally had the Z51 lip right there. You can see it hanging right here. It's actually the lowest quality out of all the lips that I've seen. These are improvements, whether you go with the carbon flash, which is just the plastic, or you go with the carbon fiber, which is the one that we're gonna put on today. You can see all the holes are already pre-drilled, which is nice. This is called the two-piece, so you do have to connect it in the middle. They have some hardware like that. I've kept these a little bit loose on this one because I want to get it fitted, and then I'll just tighten it up a little bit, but it really couldn't be any more straightforward. Now, because this is carbon fiber, it is actually thinner than this plastic. I'll see if I can kind of show you here. If you look at the plastic on here, you can see where it's butted up. That's the thickness that we're dealing with there. And if we look at the new one, and again, this isn't tightened up all the way. I've actually put some different hardware on here with some lock washers, but we have much thinner material. And as I go along, you can see the weave in behind from the mold. And here you just have the ABS plastic. So this new one is actually a little bit lighter. I've actually compared the hole spacing, and it appears to be the same. They also provide you with some adhesive, double-sided. That would be to go inside this crevice here, whichever one you're installing. Go here on this edge, and it would butt up against the body underneath where it makes the connection. Now, I didn't use it on the latest install when I put it on the bumper after we wrapped it, and I'm not gonna put it on here either. In my opinion, this is optional, but if you wanna use it, they provide it, so go ahead. But with the paint protection film that's on the car, the paint protection film that's on this lip, I have it coming over the edge here. I'm really not worried about rocks or dirt or anything getting in there to cause a problem, whereas the adhesive might block some of that, but then it also might attract some of it and kind of hold on to that dirt. So either way, it's up to you, personal choice, but I'm choosing not to use the adhesive. Let's go ahead, let's get this installed, and then let's go outside where we have some sunlight and see what this looks like. There it's on, but to my surprise, and you may have noticed it in the time lapse, I was actually going back and forth and back and forth. That's because, and it makes sense when you think about it, the carbon fiber design holds a lot more tension than the ABS plastic. This has some forgiveness to it, a little bit, to get the holes to line up. The carbon fiber is not as forgiving. You could bore the holes out a little more if you needed to, but this corner right here had a lot of tension on it. I had to loosen the screws off and kind of retighten as I went, and then tighten them all up at the end, and I was able to get it to fit pretty darn good. You can see end to end here, so right at the end of the bumper, and on this side, right at the end of the bumper. Everything looks pretty good. I will say though, and I think it has to do more with the mold, there's a tiny bit of, and you can probably tell in the light here, just a tiny little gap right where my fingernail is, but then it's tight right up the middle there. Maybe the thickness of the paint protection film, because it actually goes around, might have a little bit to do with that. But on the ABS plastic one, you can see the seam is almost invisible. I can't get my fingernail in there, and it's nice and rounded here. So again, different base material and a different finish, more rigid, less flex, more flex, less rigid. I would stand behind both of these pieces though as good, affordable upgrades for your Corvette C8. Now let's take this thing outside and have a closer look. have to say, in my personal opinion, I'm very happy with how this turned out. I love how the carbon fiber accents are coming along. Remember, you can order things a lot like these right from General Motors or from Chevrolet in this case to outfit a lot of carbon fiber on your Corvette C8, whether it be interior, engine bay, exterior. I've chose to partner with Extreme Online Store and try out a lot of their products. So hopefully you find these videos informative. So it informs you on what choices you may or may not want to make when it comes to your Corvette C8 or many other vehicles for that matter. They have so much to choose from on their website. They're always adding new products. Definitely check them out. I'll leave a link in the video description below. And stick around because we are going to tackle some of the engine bay in some upcoming videos. So on that note, if you like today's video, hit that like button. Please consider subscribing. We'll talk to you next time.